Hi everyone, Gruntle here, and this is my guide to legendary and unique weapons in Borderlands the pre-sequel. This episode we're looking at the Excalibastard, which is a legendary laser manufactured by Hyperion. You will find this laser stuck in a stone in Stanton's liver, which you get to through Triton Flats. And it will be stuck in a stone, as I said, and it will be to the left of the left edge of the map. You've got to jump across some cliffs and it will be sitting there. You've also got to be the badass rank of 2500 to be able to pick this up. You need to be badass enough to pick it up. And it's only able to be taken or picked up once per character across all playthrough modes. So you've got to remember to be the level that you would like to be using this gun at forever before you pick it up. So I'd say leave it to level 70 if you like in-game play before you pick it up, or you can pick it up as soon as possible and have some fun with it. So anyway, this has all fixed parts, so it will always come with this bayonet attachment, and it will always look like this unless you get it out of the grinder, and it can come in the Loonshine version. That's what that is. So it has perfect accuracy, 100 right there. It's pretty decent damage, and it also has increased critical hit damage. So when you hit a critical hit, you're going to get even more damage on the enemy. The melee damage from the bayonet attachment. It does consume quite a bit of ammo, but you do have heaps of ammo with lasers anyway. And yes, of course, this firing increases accuracy as it's a Hyperion laser, and it always comes in cryo element. So it's always going to be freezy. That means it is good for Aurelia, the Baroness, because she has buffs for freezing stuff. And it's also pretty good, I've found, with almost every character, just because it's quite a badass weapon. Now, the interesting things about this gun, it's of course a railgun, just like all Hyperion lasers. However, if you hit a critical hit with this, now, it doesn't really work on this dummy, but if you hit a critical hit, it will freeze them. You can see all of the clouds of freezy cryo damage around him. If he was a normal enemy, he would be frozen right now. So critical hits have a 100% chance to freeze an enemy. And when they are frozen, I'll put up a little clip of this, you can melee them with the bayonet attachment, and it will create a singularity on the frozen enemy, and then followed by a nova of cryo damage, which tends to freeze the enemies around them as well. So you can sit there firing, or you can hit one guy in the head, get a critical hit, and then you can sit there meleeing them all and getting big singularities and novas all over the place. You can get multiple singularities and novas on one frozen enemy if they don't die between melees as well. So it's pretty awesome. Now, the other interesting things about this gun is it has a slow fire rate, like all or most Hyperion lasers, just because it's a railgun. So you can see there it's a 1.1 fire rate, but it has a decent reload speed and magazine size for the gun. So yes, I guess we'll skip to the gameplay of using this with, who are we? This character is Wilhelm. I can't believe I didn't remember that. Anyway, yes, we'll skip to the Wilhelm gameplay, but as I said, this is pretty usable with all characters. Aurelia can buff the cryo damage, Wilhelm buffs the laser damage, and it is a laser as well. You can get more critical hits if you're using Nisha and her tombstone skill. You've got Athena, and she does extra elemental damage. Claptrap, he just would be good with it because it's a good gun, I reckon. But yes, and of course there's Jack, but he's good with all guns pretty much. So we'll jump to that gameplay now, and I'll let you know what I think about the gun and what's happening in the gameplay. Here we are just outside Overlook, and we're getting the first enemies to spawn. So I managed to get a critical hit on this guy, so he's frozen, and I'm using the singularities and novas to pull these guys in and get them frozen as well. So it's pretty good for clumping up enemies and getting that cryo damage on them. I'm also using that grenade to clump up enemies too while they are further away from me. There's all this elemental damage happening from the barrels and things are dying all around me. It's great. So if you can get good aim on enemies, it is of course 100% chance from critical hits to get them frozen, so you can get a good amount of damage from the extra critical hit and also freeze the enemy so you can start meleeing them and pulling them in. It's difficult with these glitches because they have hard to see critical hit spots, and also these wheel traps and things, they have a helmet on. A bit more difficult to get their critical hits. Then if you can freeze them, you start meleeing them and getting things singularity over. You can see with this that the gun is also pretty good for getting out of fight for your life because it is 100% accuracy, or 100% accurate. So if you're aiming on an enemy, you're going to hit them. It's going to do a decent amount of damage, which is always good. It takes a bit of practice to get used to using the singularity and nova from the cryo damage as well. So you've got to practice that maybe a bit. But yeah, it's taken out these enemies pretty darn quickly using Wilhelm. And I'm sure with Aurelia it would actually do it a bit faster because of her increased cryo damage and things like that. We just got to take out this last badass and then we're finished in this area. We'll do the items and skill build here in a second and then finish up the video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more of this series, then hit the subscribe button and let me know what you think of the video in the comment section below the like button. Thanks for watching, guys.